And we're live. I think we're live. So as soon as somebody joins, just give me a thumbs up, some love, just show some love. I think I reset it to make it public. I had typed the recipe in, and yes, we are live. Perfect. Thank you so much. Okay, awesome. I had typed in the recipe, and I usually type it in so that it's all formatted and ready to go. And when I hit paste, I had still on private settings, so I had to redo it. So I apologize. Welcome to the show. I'm Laura Hall, and you're on the Come Cook With Me show. So I am so thankful to be here with you today. I am sharing with you, I've got a little Mardi Gras thing going on because it's Mardi Gras. Fat Tuesday is coming up, and I can't even believe how early it is. This is just crazy that Lent starts on Wednesday next week. It's just going to be, it's just a crazy time. So already people are already starting to do what we do in this community. So thank you all. So say hello, who you are, where you're from. That's just what we do in this community. And actually there's a special thing for you. If you do that, you get entered to win. And we have two things that you get to enter to win. One is a drawing for some spices that a teammate of mine has created. They're phenomenal Dano spices. If you haven't gotten them yet, you probably will soon enough. And then also if you share this video, so go ahead and hit that share button and you share the video, you get entered in a chance to win our seasonal shake. Because many of you know who are following me know that I'm a nutrition coach and help people in their journeys, whether it's sports performance or whether it's weight loss or just gaining energy, releasing toxins from their body. So one of the fun things that we do is we give a seasonal shake away as well. So go ahead and say hello, who you are, where you're from, just to enhance our community space and our time together. And if you share the video, you'll get entered to win as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, we're going to be making jambalaya. We're doing a Creole style, and it's not a Cajun style. So if we were doing Cajun style and you don't like tomatoes, then that's Cajun style. We're doing Creole style because I love tomatoes. I just think that they just add a robust flavor in any meal, but I'm just really a tomato lover, so and so that's what we're doing, and we're doing it in the Instapot. If this is the first time you've joined us, you'll understand this show is dedicated to I grew up in a very traditional way, raising my kids, cooking a meal, putting the meal together in the crock pot. Before we all went off to, I taught school, the kids went to school, came home, and we had a delicious meal right there in the crock pot. So the new gadget that I have absolutely fallen in love with, and loving, so many people have just absolutely got the Instapot craze. And so what I've been doing is I've been sharing my recipes, cooking both traditional style as well as in the Instapot to see which one will win. And that's really the theme of the show, or it has been for most of the show. So I'm just really happy and so blessed to be here with you. I want to do a super shout out just before we get started. So if you're going to be cooking with me, what you want to do is you want to get your Instapot on right now, and you want to hit it at saute, so it starts getting to get heated up. And you're going to get started while I'm talking. Go ahead and get your extra virgin olive oil. You can use avocado oil. I just use this robust flavor. That's just the Instapot saying it's ready to turn on. I'm coating the bottom of it, and I'm going to let that heat up a little bit. So I was doing a super shout out to everybody, or not to everybody, but to two particular people who absolutely made my week this week. Luca Paris and Dan Mitchell invited me on their radio station. Well, I guess it's Dan's radio station, his program, Dan Mitchell, on WKBK radio in New Hampshire. So I'm doing a super shout out with them because they absolutely made my day. We did a live taping. Of course, they're in New Hampshire, but I called in, and it was just a really fun experience. It was my first experience, and it was just a whole bunch of fun. So super shout out. If you didn't get a chance to listen to the recording, Deb, my girlfriend, my soul sister, she actually posted it on my wall. She went out and found it and posted it on my wall. So thanks, Deb. It was a lot of fun. So if you want to listen to the recording, they were a hoot, and it was just an enjoyable moment all the way around. So just wanted to do a super shout out with that. So, and Dan, I'm hoping that you and Luca both get Instant Pots. I just can't even believe that you don't have one yet, but I'm hoping that you're going to be getting one soon. And I'll look forward to talking with you guys further. And another super shout out to Luca, because he is on day 2 of his healthy journey. So he's on his second shake day. So I'm super proud of you, Luca. And we still need to have a conversation and make sure everything is going great. So we're going to go ahead and get started cooking. I will share with you who the winners were at the end of the show, so you can find out who won from last week's drawing. And I will have to say, last week's drawing, well, I'll get to that in a little bit. But so our oil is nice and hot, and I'm going to go ahead and add our trinity of our first ingredients. We're going to do our bell pepper. I actually had some bell pepper left over. I have red, green, and some yellow and orange. I just had a whole bunch left over, so I'm just going to throw those in. And we have some chopped celery. I'm going to throw that in. Oh, I love, love, love chopped celery and onions and any of the soup or stew. It's just yummy. And then we have our onion. So we're going to let that go ahead and get started to cook. Out of the way. We want to get this al dente. So I'm going to stir that oil around, get that nice and coated. Now, for those of you who are following and only have the crock pot and the slow cooker, I have the newer slow cooker that came from All-Clad, so you're really able to do a saute in this particular model. Some, as Dan brought up on the show on Thursday, he said, well, I would be waiting forever for anything to saute in my crock pot. So that's true. If you're using just the slow cooker, you don't have the saute method, you probably want to do this trinity in the on the stove and just get that pre-prepped ahead of time. Because you do want to have these enormous flavors just explode by doing getting them to al dente. So what I'm also going to add in there, because I absolutely love garlic, and most of you know when I cook with garlic, I'm using an organic garlic. I love, here in the United States, I love the garlic that comes out of California or Canada. This garlic came out of California, and it was organic, so that's one of the things that I love. But I also roast my garlic. So you can see that. I roast it in, somebody asked me this question last week, so I think I should probably tell you. I roast it at about 325 in the oven. I actually have an oven that has a fan, so you know it's just really very quick. It's a real quick 325, and it just creates a really, really soft finish of your garlic. Really beautiful, not so tight and so hard and spicy, but really just so beautiful. So I'm just going to throw a bunch of those cloves in there. Stir it around again. So, oh yeah, that's nice. That's getting really nice. So I also like to, while the vegetables are getting a little al dente, mostly opaque is what you're going to be looking for. I'm going to go ahead and throw in some spices just so that they really get full of flavor. And I'm going to put my glasses on so we can read them. All right, I'm going to put in this particular one right here. I'm going to use the Japanese 7-spice. Remember, I always use organic spices, no GMOs. It's the most important. I mean, look, when we're cooking, we want to have as few toxins as possible. I mean, that's one of the premises when I coach people. We really don't want to have, you know, our environment and things that we're already ingesting and eating. I mean, it's a toxic world and a toxic environment, and so our bodies get overloaded. So we don't want to do that, right? We don't need to add more. So if you get organic, no GMO, it'll say organic and it'll have no GMO. I love that. GMO, for those of you who don't know what that means, is genetically modified organism, and so we don't need to have genetics changed in our food or in our bodies. So I'm just gonna add that spice. I love the 7 spice because it has a little bit of, well, it has just so many wonderful flavors in it, but I love that it's spicy, and I love that it has a little bit of citrus in it. It's really, really awesome. All right, so we're gonna do a little of that, and I'm gonna put some cumin in it. Again, all my spices are organic and no GMO. And I know those of you who are watching say, oh my God, she's not measuring. I don't measure, I go by look. But for those of you who really want to have the recipe correct, I put in estimates up in the recipe. So the recipe is actually in the post itself. You will find all of the ingredients as well as the estimated quantity. And I try to make it so it's not too spicy for all of you. I've got some Cajun seasoning. Oh, I'll probably be adding this a little bit more when I get some more liquid in. And I've got some Cayenne Pepper. And I have some Hot Hungarian Paprika. This is a spicy jambalaya. And I will have to tell you, I was able to get the crock pot really cooking up really fast today, and it's looking so fine in there. If I get a chance, I'll take the lid off and lift it up and show it to you. It's just incredible looking. Oh, that's getting so great. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of our Dano's spices. This is what somebody is going to be winning today, and if you say hello, who you are, where you're from, you'll get a chance to win both of these as well. I love them because they're made in Kentucky. They are a gentleman by the name of Dan Oliver. He's on our team. So thank you, Dan, for creating these incredible gifts that you've given us. But what I love about them is that they're always low sodium. There's no sugar. They're gluten-free. There's no MSG. There's no GMOs. And there's a little bit of a spicier one and a little bit of a more savory one. Love them. Absolutely love them. So I'm going to use a little bit of this savory. Oh, this is getting so good in this pot. Smell-o-vision. I just wish we had some smell-o-vision. And then Herbs de Providence. So I love the Herbs of the Providence. So we'll add that. Perfect. You're going to love this recipe. So, so yummy. Okay, these are ready to go. So I'm going to lift this up. I'm going to turn off my Instant Pot so it's not sauteing any longer. And if I have my other guy, where is he? I'll grab one from here. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so let me show you what it looks like before we add the other ingredients. Because now all we're going to do is add the rest of the ingredients. Take a look at that. Doesn't that look incredible? Oh gosh, I wish you could smell that. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add the next element. Next one is tomatoes. So what I have here is I love these fire roasted tomatoes. So I'm going to dump these in so you can see the canister better. This is great. Stir that around. So what's great about these, again, they're organic, no GMO, but the most important thing that I look for in cans is this label right there. PBA free, okay? Non-PBA lining. So what that is, for those of you who are not familiar with this, is that a lot of our vegetables come with this lining, or canned goods have this lining. It's called PBA, or bisphenol A. And that's a toxin, and in fact it's an endocrine disruptor. So we don't want to have our kids having a lot of these things in their bodies. So you want to look for, when you're buying things in the store, look for things that say no PBA lining, okay? You want to get that. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to add is we're going to add the sausage and chicken, okay? And this particular recipe, you could have done the sausage, I think even in the way that I wrote it out, I think you could have added the sausage with the, right after we got a little bit more of the sauteing going. but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and it's fine to do it either way. Okay, that's beautiful. All right. The last vegetable I'm adding is okra, and I'm going to try to add this whole bag, but I don't want to get it too full. Oh yeah, that's going to be perfect. Okra is one of those things you either love, as in the radio show, you either love okra or you don't love okra. So if you don't love okra, don't use okra. It's okay. I love okra, and I think it really adds such a flavorful aspect to, you know, any of the Cajun or Creole or, you know, really any kind of soup or stew. I just love it. All right, so now it's time for the bone broth. I'm going to give you a rule of thumb on the bone broth. You're not going to make this, you know, that's the difference between gumbo, which is more of a soup style, and jambalaya has more rice, and if you choose to add beans, it has more of a rice and bean style. So I'm going to add one of these boxes of bone broth. And again, I choose bone broth because it's the best thing for you. It's great for your gut. It adds additional protein to any meal. I think it's just so flavorful, and I'm using a chicken bone broth. It's really my preference. So I think what I'm going to do is just kind of stick with one of these boxes. Now I put 1.5 into the crock pot because the crock pot really absorbed up a lot of the rice and the basmati. So I'm going to share with you how I did that. Before I do that, I'm going to show you what I did to get red beans done. Earlier this afternoon, I went ahead and used my dried beans, just regular old red beans. I used the smaller ones, and I went ahead and put them in the Instant Pot because I think that that's the best way to create any beans. Getting dry beans, it's the cheapest. I mean, that whole bag was $1.20, and it made a pot full of red beans. And so we love to have red beans in our jambalaya. This again is one of those optional things because I know some people don't. So I'm going to add a cup. Actually, I'm going to add 2 cups because I have enough, and that'll be beautiful. I'm going to stir that around. Oh, that's just so incredible looking. Okay, now the last ingredient, and this is the one where it gets a little tricky. So you always want to have just enough liquid so that it becomes, you know, a hearty meal and not a soup, but also where it doesn't burn and get too dry. That's the delicate balance. Look at this beautiful find that I had. I found this is the first time I'm using it, and I just love this medley. It's called Della, Basmati, and Quinoa. Take a look. What I love about it is it's whole grain, no GMOs, and it's gluten-free. I love it. So it's got a little quinoa, and it's got the long grain rice that you're looking for, and it's just beautiful. So let me go ahead and I'm going to put in about 1.5 cups. No, that's going to be all of it. Okay, perfect. And then I'm going to add 1 cup of I picked up the citrus, melon, and peach wine. It was on sale, to be honest with you, but it looked really curious and interesting, so I thought, buy one, get one free. Let's see if it's a good cooking wine. So you're going to add 1 cup. I'm going to stir that around again. See how easy this recipe is? All right, so Dan, if you happen to be watching and you see how quick and easy, I'm going to be cooking this for 7 minutes. Now it does take about 10 to 15 minutes for the Instant Pot to pressure up, but I mean 7 minutes and you're done. I mean, crazy, right? Okay. Yeah, that looks perfect. Now, when you open your lid, I'm going to talk a little bit about when you open this lid, because this is ready actually to get started. So I'm going to go ahead and close the lid and get it started so you can see it. And make sure when you put your lid on that you have the steam in the off position so that the red dot can lift up. If that red dot doesn't lift up, you know you're not under pressure. Okay, so there we go. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to hit manual. You could actually do soup. So when I hit soup, it's 10 minutes. So I don't want to do full 10 minutes. I want to go ahead and I'm going to do 7. So let me get that down. I don't know if you watched the recipe last week, but that chicken just shredded so easily because we just cooked it so well. Okay. And then it's gonna just it'll get started. Okay, so when you open up your Instant Pot, if it's too dry, you're gonna add a little bit of the extra liquid. But you're also going to, if you're using the optional of adding in the shrimp, you're gonna open the lid up, put it on saute again, and add that shrimp until it gets cooked. So you may have to have a little extra liquid on the side and be prepared for that. So if you don't have that particular rice that I used, here's your other option. I love to use a long grain rice so it doesn't fall apart in the heat and the pressure. So I like to use a basmati, long grain white rice. And then I also add quinoa. I love quinoa because it's a great thickening agent. It's very healthy for you to have in your stew. And it's just really yummy. It kind of really adds that whole nutty flavor. So those are the other options that you can use. And then that's it. That's the whole recipe. You know what I was thinking is that I had said that I wanted to take a look at adding just a little bit more Cajun spice. So I'm going to take a look and look how easy this is. I just want to let you know. So if you forget something, it hasn't pressurized yet, right? It's just gotten started. So I can open the lid easily, just like that. And I'm just gonna take a look at what that seasoning looks like. And I think I am going to add just a little bit more of the Danos. And a little more Herbs de Providence. Oh yeah, and then some more Cajun. And one other thing that I did not put in is the datil pepper. A lot of you don't have datil peppers. Datil peppers are from Florida or southern. I think there are some datil peppers in Georgia as well. But I'm going to add 2 of these datil peppers. If you don't have datil, you can use a ghost pepper, but use 1 ghost pepper. And if you don't have either, you can just use a jalapeno. That's perfect. 2 datil peppers, and then we're ready to go. Ready to rock and roll. Oh yeah, perfect. Okay, that's it. It's so simple. So what I'll do is at the, when everything is done and finished cooking, what I'll do is show you the pictures. I'll post the pictures of each one. Now how we're gonna serve this, we're gonna have a little chopped parsley. I've got some scallions. You can use shallots or scallions, and we'll probably have a dollop of, because it's going to be hot, it'll be spicy, so we'll probably use a little Greek yogurt. If you don't have Greek yogurt, you can use a little sour cream. Either one, perfectly great. Okay, so last week's winners, let's go ahead and share who won the spices for last week. I'm so excited for this lady. She's also on my team, so I was really excited. So Faye Paludat, you got the spices. And if you are local and haven't seen Faye, she owns the massage studio on Market Street. So I'm very excited for you, Faye. And if you haven't gone and seen her, you need to go in and get yourself a massage from her. She's just magical. Okay, this shake. This is somebody's first time actually entering, and I was so excited for her. It was Cynthia Wallace McCrae. So Cynthia, I'm going to send you a message letting you know that you won the shake. And we still have a few of the cookies and cream, and we have the pumpkin spice. So those are what you're going to get a chance to win. Well, you already have that. You won it. So you have to decide which one you want. Okay. That's the show, everyone. I hope that you have a great weekend. If you are celebrating Mardi Gras, be safe. I know that so many places, you know, it's like a huge, huge weekend at so many of the restaurants in town. People are doing some pre-Valentine's Day. Obviously, they're doing some Mardi Gras celebrations. And if you are, just stay safe and enjoy your weekend. I know several of you are shoveling out of a lot of snow, so sending you warm wishes, hoping that that snow melts very soon. We actually had turned into a beautiful day. It was very, very iffy today, but it turned out to be a beautiful day. So I'm hoping everyone has just a safe and beautiful weekend. Thank you all for joining me. I'm very blessed to have you all come and participate. Don't forget to hit the share button so that this video can be posted on your wall and other people can have a chance to see it. And thanks so much for making our community so awesome. I'll answer any of the questions. It looks like there were a lot of things that people were saying, so I'll answer them after we go ahead and get off the show. See you all next week, everyone.